The controversy surrounding Keir Starmer has expanded from a procedural issue into a broader test of political authority, centered on a diplomatic appointment that appears to have bypassed a failed security vetting process. One figure captures the scale of the issue. Peter Mandelson, a senior Labour figure appointed as ambassador to the United States, reportedly did not pass all required checks before assuming the role. The underlying question is not only whether a mistake occurred, but how such a breakdown fits within the operational structure of a government that came to power with a strong parliamentary mandate. If the situation stabilizes, it could be contained as a failure within the administrative chain of communication. If it escalates, it may redefine expectations around accountability at the highest levels of government. The implications extend beyond domestic politics, influencing how allies assess institutional reliability in areas such as intelligence sharing and diplomatic coordination. The background begins with the United Kingdom's 2024 general election, where Starmer led the Labour Party to a large majority, ending a prolonged period of conservative governance. This electoral outcome created a political environment where competence, transparency, and institutional discipline were expected to define the new administration. The appointment of Mandelson as ambassador to Washington was framed as a calculated decision, reflecting his experience in previous governments and his familiarity with transatlantic relations. Within the British system, ambassadorial appointments to key allies, particularly the United States, carry strategic weight. These roles involve direct engagement with political leadership, oversight of diplomatic missions, and access to classified discussions. As a result, security vetting is a critical prerequisite. It determines whether an individual can handle sensitive intelligence and participate fully in bilateral cooperation frameworks that underpin defense and foreign policy coordination. The issue emerged when it became public that Mandelson had failed elements of this vetting process prior to his appointment. Government officials have stated that this information did not reach the Prime Minister at the time. However, documentation complicates this explanation. A formal letter issued by the Foreign Office in January indicated that Mandelson's security clearance had been confirmed and would remain valid until 2030. This inconsistency between official records and later disclosures has become central to the controversy, raising questions about the accuracy of internal reporting systems. The situation is further complicated by Mandelson's association with Jeffrey Epstein, which had already led to his resignation from the ambassadorial position in September. Subsequent developments indicate that Mandelson is under investigation for the possible leaking of government documents, although no public statement has been made by him addressing these allegations. These overlapping issues have intensified scrutiny, shifting the focus from a procedural error to a broader examination of judgment and oversight. Key political figures have responded with varying interpretations. Darren Jones, a senior minister, indicated that the Prime Minister had not been informed about the vetting failure and expressed concern that the communication system had undermined both leadership and governance. In response to the unfolding situation, Olly Robbins, the senior-most official in the Foreign Office, was removed from his position, signaling that administrative accountability was being enforced at the departmental level. Opposition leaders have taken a different position. Kemi Badenoch has questioned whether Starmer misled Parliament when he previously indicated that no issues had been raised during Mandelson's vetting process. The distinction here is critical. If Starmer relied on incorrect information provided by officials, the issue remains within the administrative domain. If evidence suggests that he was aware of the concerns and did not disclose them, the matter shifts into the realm of political responsibility and parliamentary integrity. Timing plays a significant role in amplifying the impact of the controversy. The issue has emerged less than a month before local elections in England and regional elections in Scotland and Wales, scheduled for early May. These elections are expected to test Labour's political strength following its national victory. Internal assessments within the party suggest that while immediate leadership challenges are unlikely due to the scale of the parliamentary majority, the situation could influence voter perception and shape the electoral outcome. One possible scenario is that the issue remains contained within the administrative framework. In this case, the dismissal of senior officials, clarification of vetting procedures, and reinforcement of communication channels could limit political damage. Starmer would retain authority, and the government would redirect attention to policy priorities, including economic management and foreign policy alignment. A second scenario involves sustained escalation. If additional inconsistencies emerge regarding the vetting process or the flow of information to senior leadership, opposition parties could intensify demands for accountability. While this may not immediately threaten Starmer's position, it could weaken internal confidence and complicate legislative agendas. The narrative would shift from a single incident to a broader critique of governance practices. A third scenario, less immediate but structurally important, involves institutional reform. The government could respond by overhauling vetting procedures and introducing stricter oversight mechanisms for high-level appointments. This would not resolve the current controversy, but could redefine how similar situations are handled in the future, potentially restoring confidence over time. The geopolitical implications, while indirect, remain relevant. The role of ambassador to the United States is central to maintaining one of the United Kingdom's most important bilateral relationships. Any perception of irregularity in such an appointment may influence how partners evaluate procedural reliability, particularly in areas involving intelligence sharing and joint strategic planning. Even if operational cooperation continues, reputational factors can shape long-term trust. At a systemic level, the episode illustrates the dependence of political leadership on bureaucratic infrastructure. Modern governance operates through layered processes, where decisions rely on accurate and timely information from multiple departments. When those processes fail, the consequences extend beyond administrative error, affecting political credibility and institutional trust. This pattern is not unique to the United Kingdom. Governments across different political systems face similar challenges in aligning decision-making authority with administrative execution. The balance between delegation and oversight becomes especially critical in areas involving national security and high-level diplomatic representation. What happens next will depend on the emergence of further details. Investigations into Mandelson's conduct, parliamentary inquiries into the vetting process, and the outcome of upcoming elections will all contribute to shaping the trajectory of the issue. Each of these factors operates on a different timeline, creating a layered dynamic where short-term political reactions intersect with longer-term institutional adjustments.